Welcome to This Week with Old Sarge. This week, talking about the animal woman of Perryville Station. Oh, yeah. See, way back when I was patrol sergeant and out of the Perryville Station, shout out to you guys, they had the animal woman down there. She's always patrolling the same area we patrolled, it seems like, looking for wild animals in trouble. Well, who doesn't like helping an animal in need? Nobody. Everybody likes helping out. So when she'd call the barracks, says she was standing by with an animal in need, as soon as we can, we get a trooper out there, see what's going on. Now, keeping in mind, some of these times animals weren't really in need. You know, they live outside 24/7, 365. They know how to take care of themselves generally, but they can't get themselves into some difficulty. So one day I'm out there on patrol, and the animal woman, she called the barracks, and Sarge reached out for me and said she needs help with a turtle. She's on this little access road that parallels the interstate there, and she's on the ramp that leads to the eastbound side. Now, off on the other side there, away from the interstates, just all farmers' fields. You know, got the fence up there running parallel down the side of the access road and links up and runs parallel to the interstate, keeping all them cows in. So I head on out there and find her there on the ramp, pull up there in the old troop car and hit the overhead lights on and throw it in park. And hop out there and walk over and step up on the curb. You know, they got the nice grass there, you know, that they keep mowed pretty good. And then there's a square wire fence, and then the farmer's field stretches on out as far as you can see in the distance. So I said, ma'am, what can we help you with today? She's like, well, this turtle here needs some help. All right, well, what kind of help's the turtle need? Well, he wants to get to this pond, and he can't get through the square wire fence. Well, I've seen lots of turtles. I lived out in the country. Let's take a look at this turtle. So I walk a little bit past the front of her car. You know, I'm parked behind it, and walk down the hill a little bit and take a look and jump back. Boy, it's a big old alligator snapping turtle. Woo! He's big. He's big. He's basketball size big. I'm like, hold up. These things will kill you. And she's like, well, he needs help. And I'm like, he don't need my help. He's headed downhill. He's going in the right direction because, you know, the way you build fence, you know, you try to stretch it downhill and back up the other side. That low spot, that fence is going to be up a little bit. He's all right, ma'am. Just let him keep parallel on the fence. He's headed down that low area. He'll sneak right under there and he'll get to that pond. She's like, no, I'm afraid he's going to get run over. I said, he ain't going to get run over. Look at the size of him. He's been around a while. Yeah, like 40 years. These things get freaking huge. I mean, can you imagine trying to pick up one of these things? Lord have mercy. It's not like they got handles on them, plus that doggone razor sharp beak they got. Whoo! And you're supposed to pick them up behind their neck there, hanging onto the top of that shell, and then grabbing the back end underneath the top of the shell. That's how you're supposed to hold these things to keep them from killing you. Got them big old claws on all their doggone feet. These things can move a little bit when they need to. I don't want to mess with this thing. I said, ma'am, I don't see any way to get this thing over a fence. I mean, you can't pull the fence up, square wire. It's, you know, tacked down to the post pretty good. I'm like, just leave this one alone. He's fine. You won't mess with this. Ain't no bunny rabbit. Just let her go. She's like, no, I think we really need to help him. I'm like, holy moly. I'm scratching my head a little bit. I'm like, well, what in the hell am I going to do here? And all of a sudden, a guy from the station pulls up behind me in his troop car, flips the lights on, and I'm like, saved by the bell. So I walk back there, and he's like, hey, Sarge, you need help? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I said, you help this lady out with this turtle? I gotta take care of something. He's like, sure, Sarge, I got it. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, Good luck, buddy. I get in the troop car and I leave. But I get thinking about it later. That's kind of a dirty trick. I'm like, this fellow may have some hard feelings. So I see him a little bit later. I'm like, I kind of thought it was funny at the time, but it's kind of mean to leave you with that situation there. And he's like, that's all right. He said she had some carpet or something in her trunk loose there and kind of wrapped the thing up. And he said he ended up having to drag it down the hill in the carpet all wrapped up and then turn it loose down in a low spot and shoo it underneath the fence, and she was happy. I'm like, well done, trooper. Good for you. So, in the years after that, every time I'd run across this fellow, wouldn't run across him very often, but maybe, once, twice every year or two, and walk up to him, I'd say, "You're not still mad about the turtle, are you?" And of course, everybody stand there and be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he's like, No, it's all right. It's a good conversation starter with a group of troopers standing around, wondering what the turtle story is. Well, now you heard it. So shout out section this week. Shout out to all my B troopers out there doing the JOB and holding true to the oath. Not listening entirely to the crazy decisions coming out of some of these politicians. Woo! Temporary help. Sound like it's time to get some of these folks fired. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Especially ones that don't know what the Constitution's all about. I don't know. But we appreciate what you're doing out there. And y'all best be keeping track of each other now, doggone it. Military, we appreciate what you're doing here at home and overseas. Keeping us safe, holding that line. Taking care of business. So it is appreciated. So thank you. Thank you very much. So till next week, me and Christmas Pig, bye now.